Good morning, this is Debra V. Wilson. Welcome to my YouTube channel. The last time I did a recording, an introduction to my channel, was the 27th of August, 2017. So I thought this was a good time to let you know where I am in my research. I've spent the 5-month period learning more about the intelligence models in my 3 countries, Canada, Israel, and the UK. If you're following my channel in the various playlists, I've done a fair bit of collecting. In addition to the YouTube channels I view, I've done research, traditional research, and where possible, particularly in the case of Canada, I've done face-to-face interviews. So at this point in my channel, going forward, I want to start doing some summary and analysis of the data I've found. This will not be the research that I'll be presenting for my degree, but my MA degree, but this is the research I will use in addition to other research towards my MA degree. And again, to remind you, I'm looking at how civil society experiences national security models and how those experiences and the ways in which civilians respond and construct those experiences then impact the veracity of the security modeling with a focus again on Canada, Israel, and the UK. All 3 countries are very vibrant in the sense of their civilians are in constant responsive mode to national security modeling. I think it goes without saying, if you know anything about the UK, that the populace in the UK is very responsive to the ways in which the state constructs security. It is also the case in Israel. I think sometimes Israel is looked at from a one-dimensional perspective, and the nuances in the society are missed. And that's unfortunate because it's all the pieces that make up the whole. And so it's all of the collective responses, Israel's engagement with Palestinians, Israelis' engagement with Palestinians, and, for example, the ultra-Orthodox and the state, those relationships, the relationships between the left-leaning citizens and those who are right, those relationships as well. So when looking at Israel, try to have a more expansive view, I think, to get a clearer picture of exactly how national security models are experienced and what that means for the collective whole. You have to take a more expansive view of Israel. And then Canada, for me, has been a challenge. Canadian citizens, I think, are quieter in quotes in terms of how they understand and experience their country's national security modeling. And I have to add that my bias would be the UK. I spent over a quarter of a century engaged in one type of activism or the other, but it always has something to do with national security from a civilian perspective and how civilians experience their security, the security that the state provides them. And in addition to that, because for a time I lived in Dundalk, County Louth in Ireland, I was able to see another aspect of Britain's national security modeling. So I got to see the national security modeling, and this was at the tail end of the 90s, from the perspective of some Irish people. And then I have been able to see how the national security modeling in the UK from the perspective of an American, of a feminist, of a woman of color, a black woman, and then as a Muslim. And I've also had the ability in the UK to speak with and work with activists of various stripes, mostly women, and how they understand their experiences of Britain's national security model. The British people in general, I have experienced as, again, being collectively more vocal about how they understand, experience, and communicate those experiences to the state of their nation's security modeling. I think it's quieter here in Canada, but for me as an academic, it's a good exercise because I have to work harder to find and understand the ways in which Canada does communicate her understanding of the way in which the nation constructs security. So going forward, I at the point that I want to now do more analysis work, and I'm hoping and planning on my podcast reflecting that. I'm looking forward to the journey, and I'm asking you to join me on the journey of learning more and communicating more my understanding of the ways in which Canada constructs national security, Israel constructs national security, and the UK constructs national security, and their respective civil societies, how they experience those modelings of national security, and how they communicate those experiences back to the state. Thank you very much for listening. This is Debra B. Wilson, and again, welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you.